Welcome to another episode of Sistas in Crime with SistasinCrimewithShiandToy. My name is Shy, and that's short for... Nope, hold on. My name is Shy, and that's short for Shamia.
My name is Toy, and that is short for Latoya.
And y'all, welcome back to another episode. Y'all, first and foremost, I just want to thank y'all for tuning in and coming back to join us for another segment. We really, really appreciate it. So, of course, today we're covering a missing person case. I think this is our first missing person case on our channel that we've did since we've started it. This is the case of Asha Degree out of Shelby, North Carolina. So, again, y'all, thank you for tuning in. We have several social media outlets that we post on. So, one is YouTube, where you're watching us. Also, Spotify. We also upload little tidbits and short little videos on TikTok and Instagram. So follow us on all platforms. If you want to access, like if you're on TikTok and you want to access our YouTube, please look in our description box because all of our social media accounts are listed there. So y'all, like I said, today we're going to get into the case of Asha Degree. This is one of the most frustrating, mind-boggling, weird, like crazy cases I've ever heard.
Yes.
Just from the beginning up until now, Asha went missing when she was 9 years old, and it has been 23 years since she went missing. Matter of fact, they celebrated her 33rd birthday, this sharing awareness of her case, and hopefully, in efforts to keep her memory alive. I know they refer to her as Shelby's sweetheart, to continue to raise awareness for her and to, just hopefully get some answers and to bring her home and to give, her family some peace. So first we're going to get into the background of her case. And me and my sister, this is more so going to be like a discussion, going back and forth, just discussing like the day of, like, leading up to her disappearance and just getting to the background of her. So Asha, her entire family, the community says she was a very, very smart girl that was loved by many. She was very strict on her, academics, and she loved her sports. Like, she loved basketball. They said she was very shy and reserved and quiet when it came to like her personal life and interactions with people, because it was said that her mom and daddy raised her that way. So just being cautious of her surroundings, her and her brother, because they were they were known as like what they would call latchkey kids. So if anyone doesn't know really what that means, is it's typically children who have, keys that they, access their homes when their moms and their parents are not there until their parents get home, and typically, they're given strict instructions: go home, unlock the door, go in, lock the door, do your homework. That's it. Wait until we get home. Because her parents, I think her dad, I forgot what they said her dad worked, but I know her mom worked at a plant where they made pianos. So
her daddy Harold, he was a dock loader, so
yeah,
he worked both, like, I guess, manufacturing type jobs.
Yeah. So, there was a little bit of time where one of the parents weren't going to be home. So, that's why they really, raised them to, all right, this is what we do. So she was very reserved because, it was said in because I watched several documentaries about it, several YouTube videos, podcasts that shared this case. And they basically, all of them collectively said that her parents were just raised her to be insulated, not, in outside influences. So basically, their life was centered around church, family, school, and like her friends. That was it. Some reports say they didn't even have a TV in the home. I don't know how true that is, but that is some of the reports that they say.
Computer. They were saying they didn't have a computer in the home either.
Yes, right. So I would say, like, on February 13th, I guess we can start there. The children went to church, then they went to a relative's house and returned home. So about 8 p.m. that night, I think they were just having some family time. I think it was around, I think they said around 8 or 7:45 or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a car accident and it knocks off the power in the neighborhood. So I think her dad, Harold, lit a kerosene heater, lit candles, to make sure they had some light and keep the house warm because the power was out. So the power came back on. The kids went to bed around 8. Mom tucked them in as she always did. Harold, the father, stayed up because he wanted to stay up until the power came back on. So he stayed up, just making sure everything was okay and waiting until the kerosene heater officially went down and turned off. So everything was okay. The power came back on around 12:30. Harold went to went to check on the kids to make sure they were okay. Since the power just came on, he checked on them. Everything was fine. They were sleeping. So he said he went to bed about 2:30. Now, the significance of this day, because now, like I said, we started off late on February 13th, which of course we all know. The next day was February 14th, which is Valentine's Day, which is actually her parents' anniversary. So I felt like that was very sweet.
Yeah.
So her mom had got up really early, I think around 5:45, because keep in mind the power was out that previous night, and she had to get them up to shower, get dressed because they weren't able to take a shower the previous night. So mom had a long day. I think, it was their anniversary. She had this to run errands, all of these things, get them up, so they started very early that day. So she went in to check on her son because Asha had a brother named O'Brien. So he was then age 10. Went in there. He was in the bed. She woke him up, but she noticed Asha wasn't there. She was like, okay. So Asha must be like somewhere in the house. Checked in the house. Asha was not there. So then she called to her mom. She was like, oh, because Asha's grandmother, which was Aquila, her mom's name is Aquila, they lived across the street from her grandmother. So she called her and said, hey, is Asha over there? And she was like, no, she's not. So then her mama started to panic, and her grandmother told her to call the police immediately because this was not, there was no forced entry in or out of the home. So they were just like terrified because where is Asha? And I can tell by this family because right away, like you could tell that they were all about their kids and they did not play, because they called the police right away because they knew, Aisha was a very, very smart girl. Like we said earlier, she was a latchkey kid. So they raised her, and they did this for a long time. Like they raised them that way. So, and they had been working. So for her to just be missing was just like wild. Like it was just crazy.
Mm-hmm. And not
So,
only that, I would say that, they sheltered both O'Brien and Asha. So they tried their hardest to protect them from these outside influences. They didn't have the TV. They reportedly didn't have, internet or a computer or anything like that. So of course they're not playing about their kids. Like they gonna jump on it ASAP, and that's what they did. Like some
yes.
people are wait. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
well, no.
Right.
They was not playing about that baby, and I don't blame them.
No, like they were not playing, and like that's how you supposed to be. Like they had called the cops, and they had interviewed everybody. Really, what I loved was the whole community came together and started searching for her immediately. They did not play. I can tell they were a close knit family, like a close knit community, and they wanted to do everything to find this baby. And so they get to interviewing the family because the mom was like right away, you can put me under a lie detector test, whatever you got to do, I'll do whatever. Because of course, with it happening, at that point they're looking at, is this a runaway or like has she been abducted? So mom, of course, since this happened at home, the first suspects is within the home. Okay. So the mom was like right away, you can question me, do a lie detector test, I'll do it all. I didn't do nothing to my child. And I, like, from the get-go, it's like that woman didn't do anything to her baby. So they talked to her little brother, and he recalls, like, in the middle of the night, hearing Asha's bed squeak, but he just thought, he didn't wake up and see what was going on because he thought that maybe she was like moving, turning positions while she was sleeping or something like that. Didn't think anything about it. But really what they learned was it was Asha getting out of bed and taking her book bag, allegedly, that she previously packed with several items. So allegedly she took some jeans, some tennis shoes, her book bag, and her basketball uniform. So, and how they knew this because her brother said he could select, like he can pick out what items of clothing were missing because she kept her side of the room very tidy because they shared a room. And her mom was like, "Hey, this is missing." So, which was crazy that she knew, what to pack. You could tell it was like it. You could tell she packed the bag herself and you could tell wherever she was going, she wasn't planning on being there long, because what she packed was very like what you would pack as a kid, and so I was like, yeah, like, but they were able to determine she packed her own bag, so and left the house. So during that period between like 3:45 and 4:15, allegedly several like truck drivers saw her, like two truck drivers I think saw her going up Highway 18. So one of the drivers apparently said he approached her because of course it's a child outside in early hours of the morning on the highway, and they're wanting to know, what is this child doing out here, like what is going on. So that one of them tried to approach her and she ran and went towards the woods. So he did, I don't know what you call it. He dispatched all the other truck drivers and was like, "Hey y'all, be on the lookout for this child. I saw on the highway, just in case, they were speeding down the road and something happened, they could harm her." So he dispatched it. Like I said, a second person, him and his son were traveling. They saw her. And I think the most frustrating thing to me was if you saw her running in the woods, and this is not like no like shade to him or whatever, but like, why didn't you call 911? That's what was frustrating to me. Like,
if a child
yes.
is out on the side of the woods at
Mm-hmm.
like the wee hours of the morning by
Yes.
themselves,
Yes.
why would you, at 9 years old, that's not
9.
typical of a 9-year-old,
Yes.
why would you not call someone?
Right. Because I was like, because when they said, I was like, okay, you're dispatching your other truck drivers, but what about the cops? Like,
You didn't want to
especially
dispatch them?
right. And I was like,
Right.
that's just crazy to me. Yeah. I was like, but because I thought that was suspicious a little bit, but I think they ended up pulling those folks in. I said folks, I'm country. Those people in for questioning, and I think a lot of detective tests, and they also passed. So that ruled them out. So they pull in like the search dogs in the community, in the area, in her home, like around her home. And the crazy thing about it, y'all, I've never did research on search dogs or anything like that, but I was not aware that search dogs can pick up a scent from 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. So they bring in the search dogs and they cannot pick up a scent. So the crazy thing about it, it had rained. They said it was a very, very heavy rain that night. And for her to leave the house and it like with it raining so heavy like that, that was also very strange. But even with her like being missing at that point probably 24 hours, probably less at that point. And then with it raining, they said that the rain should have intensified the scent for the dogs. They did not pick up a scent at all, which was very strange. Very. So, of course, her family, they are frustrated. Like at that point, I mean, it was an overall like manhunt. I think at that point, by that morning, all the cops were out there. It was like several cops out there, several news outlets had came to the house. I think it was like 4 of them had, heard about the news, came there. They were publicizing it on all the news outlets. So, it was circulating. The case was circulating. So, which I appreciated, because that just shows you it's a tight-knit community, because so many people would have just said, oh, this is a runaway, this is just a runaway. But it was a runaway. But consider Asha's background and what her family described her as. It was just very, very suspicious that she would just leave the house that time of night.
And it also makes you wonder, like,
Mm-hmm.
if it's a situation kind of like the case we covered with the autistic girl from Arizona.
Yeah.
I don't even think she could have been lured out, because remember, they don't have computers, no internet or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
throughout this case is troubling for me, because throughout this I have so many questions.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Right.
She obviously packed her bag. Okay, I
Right.
get it. Walked away from the house because there were no signs of forced entry.
Right.
But you had to be walking somewhere to something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But see, a couple days before that, I want to say on February 12th, she had a basketball game, and they said she fouled out.
Yeah.
And they said she took that really, really hard, because when it came to her academics and basketball, she was so serious, and she was a winner. She did not like to lose.
Right.
And it really upset her. It really upset the team, and it really upset her. But they thought she was over it. So that was one of the theories, that they thought, she really was really really upset still about the loss of her basketball game, and maybe she ran away, especially since she took her basketball uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she ran away, because she was still upset about that. I didn't really believe in that theory. I just never, that theory just never stuck with me, honestly. Because that just didn't, I mean, maybe, I think that's still a theory on the FBI website, that's what happened. That's a theory, not what happened, just a theory.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly. All this is allegedly, because we haven't found the baby. So all of it's allegedly.
All of it.
Don't baby no more. She my age.
Yeah, she's 33. Yeah, she's 33. Yeah. So I didn't believe in that theory. But close to the Highway 18, there was a barn owned by a family in the area. So, of course, they're advising the community to, look out for her. She could be hiding in a barn or something like that. It could be, anything. So, the family went out to the barn, and they actually found candy wrappers and hair bows in their barn. Strange thing, too, y'all. They also found a picture of a little girl in the barn. And I believe it was in the barn. And the thing was, the picture was of a little girl, a black girl, but it was not Asha. And they show the picture on, you can look at the picture on some of the shows where she, that share her story, and the girl looks nothing like Asha. So they're like, why is there candy? So they think, is there another little girl missing? But if you look at the picture, y'all, it's very odd, because it honestly looks like a Photoshop picture. It honestly looks like someone photoshopped someone's head on a body. That's what it looked like. The little girl was smiling or whatever, but it honestly looked like a Photoshop picture. So that was strange.
They still don't even know who that little girl is in that picture.
Yeah, they still don't know. That's another thing that's mind-boggling. They do not know who
that is.
Yeah, they did not know. So
the only thing that's clear, like you said, is her head.
Yes.
Everything else looks like it could be very much Photoshop.
Yes. But honestly, the face of the little girl looks distorted a little bit. Not that anything's wrong with the little girl, but the quality of the picture, it looks like something that someone created, which was just weird. So they did find the candy wrappers. they brought all the stuff. They found a pen. Sorry, I'm getting ahead. They found a pencil, a green marker, and a yellow hair bow, which her mom identified that those hair bows did belong to her. So that, like I said, they found the picture of the black girl who happened to look like Asha's age, but of course they, determined that was not her. So on February 16th, they realized I think it was like a week later, they called off the search. So they said it took about 9,000 man hours that they invested in searching for Asha. So they posted flyers, billboards. I think originally they offered $5,000 in order to, for anyone who reported any, information that might be helpful towards the case. Since that day, they have increased the reward up at this point to $45,000. The family raised 20, and I think the FBI gave 25. I think that was the breakdown. I think I can't remember, but yes. So this case, had like national media attention. Like back then, it was Oprah. Oprah had her show, and then Montel Williams had his show, and they shared her story. That was a few. They also had her case on America's Most Wanted. So I think around, I believe, let me see, what year was it? 2000. They erected like a billboard with her image and everything. That was I think it was like a full-size billboard. But y'all, so here we get into some developments in the case, So probably like, I would say like in 2001, I believe they said it was August 3rd, 2001. They found Asha's book bag, and how they found it, there was a construction worker like getting ready to do some digging in a certain area, and he did not dig far. I think within the first his first attempt to dig the hole, he came upon like a black grocery, not grocery bag, but a black trash bag. And, he was like, he went in the bag to see what it was. And I said, I would have been terrified. Anytime I see a black bag on the interstate, well, any bag on the interstate, it makes me nervous. It does not matter.
I definitely ain't pulling over to see what it is.
Yeah. I'll call the police for sure.
Yeah.
I'll call the police, but I'm not
stopping.
No, I'm not stopping, but I will call
else to do it.
So around, like, this was 2001. So they opened the black trash bag, y'all, and it is Asha's book bag. And how they knew it was her, because it had her name and phone number in it. So the worker took the bag home. He was like, hey, I think somebody left their luggage on the interstate, and he brought it home. And his wife was like, oh my God, that's Asha. That's the little girl they've been looking for. So they called the cops. They turned it in. Mom identified that book bag, but she was scared when the cops called, because she was like, oh Lord, they found her book bag. Like, what else? She just knew they were going to call and say, they found her body too, but they didn't. They just found the book bag. But the strange thing was, and the thing is though, there are aspects about this case that the police have held from the public, and I feel like that's a good thing. But there are aspects of the case that the police continue to hide from the public. But they didn't release this information until later on. But they did find the book bag, and it contained items. It was Asha's book bag, but it contained items that didn't belong to her. Now, her mom, like the book, I think in the book bag, it was a shirt. It was like a New Kids on the Block t-shirt or nightgown, and I can't remember what else it was, but her mom told them, they were like, no, none of this belonged. So it was strange that they found a book bag that was Asha's, but none of her belongings were in it.
Yeah,
And
it was also like a Dr. Seuss book in there too, or something.
Yes, it was something.
The book did belong to the library from the elementary school that Asha went to.
Yes, that is true. Yep, but see, that's the crazy thing. But see, I think this was back in the day when they didn't have like an electronic system to check out a book. So they were not even able to determine who checked out the book, you know? So that was strange. But, one aspect that they did, share, and I was like, that's true. The book bag was like double bagged in trash bags. So it was put in 2 trash bags. So in my opinion, someone wanted to make sure that bag was secure so someone could find it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that is so weird too.
Because why would you want them to find the bag but not find her though?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
why like if that was your aim and your goal, why not also throw a letter in there telling what you know? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, hey,
Mhm.
she's such and such, like
Mhm.
to help these parents and this family, like to ease their pain, because I can't imagine how hard the not knowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's how many years at this point? 23,
Yeah.
I think. Like
Yeah.
23,
This
24
is year
years at this point,
23. Yeah, this is year 23. Yeah.
not knowing what happened to your child.
Yep.
If you was gonna throw a bag out there, you could have put a letter or something to help the police and help people find this child.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And they took the book back to Quantico, which is, I believe it's Quantico, Virginia. I believe the FBI has a laboratory there where they have like state of the art DNA testing and stuff. So they tested it, and to this day, y'all, that is the last known evidence found in this case that we know of. But they have not shared the testing and the findings for the case.
That's the thing, because I want to know, did y'all find DNA?
Yes,
That's
that's
my
what I
main
want to
thing,
know.
because they're having so many like new recent ways to test DNA and
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Yes.
they've been able to solve cold cases by doing like the genealogy, the
Mhm.
ancestry and me things. They're finding
Mhm.
people through their family members.
Yep.
So I'm wondering, is that something they're doing on the back end and just don't want to release it to the public because
Yes.
it still is, an investigation? Like,
Yes.
what's the reasoning for not telling what y'all
Yes.
found? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And that aspect is kind of concerning to me because even now, because I can't remember. I think it was the law enforcement in Shelby. They recently made a statement that they call her Shelby Sweetheart, and that they are having updates to the case till this day. And I was like,
what
well,
are they?
where are they?
We'd like to know. We'd love to know.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are y'all protecting? But another instance that they shared was they reported that there was a vehicle that several people reported that Asha got into, and it was like this green, like I can't remember what they said. It was like an old school car, like a 70s, probably
It was
80s.
like I think it was a green Lincoln.
Yes, some say it was a Lincoln, and some say it might have been uh I can't remember, like maybe like a Lincoln, but it was another car they suspected. But either way, they posted like a picture that resembled the car that people allegedly saw her get into on several people. And I was like, y'all, if y'all saw this, why y'all didn't call the cops? Like, but
And not only that, that's like the picture that they showed.
mhm,
They said it could have been a Lincoln or a Thunderbird.
yes,
So the picture that they showed, that's the old school classic car. So that's not a car that's gonna be very, very common.
mhm,
But like I'm at this point, it's been so long, that car has probably like been through so many owners,
mhm,
unless or may even had look a different color,
mhm,
anything. But if y'all know anybody to drive that car, because it's distinctive, very
mhm,
distinctive. Like, y'all need to
yes,
find an anonymous tip line. You ain't got to leave your name and your information or anything like that.
exactly. They said you can do it anonymously.
Yeah.
But y'all, since that case, since she disappeared, they've had like over 300 tips, and the cops, they said, law
You
enforcement
know
said,
what?
hmm
Real quick, just to backtrack a quick second, could they not just check all the registration on cars that look like this?
they
Can they
could.
not just do that? And then just narrow
Yeah,
your results down from that list?
they could. I mean, In my opinion, that car is very distinctive. I would remember seeing a car like that.
Show a picture on here, but
Yeah.
I can't. But
Yeah.
oh, yes, I can.
Yes.
I just saw that feature.
Yes.
But the car is very, very distinctive. So, I'm gonna see if this is going to work. If not, we'll have to edit it out because this is new. Okay, we playing around with some technology today, sis.
Listen, I love it because I mean, in my opinion, when I seen the car, I said I would remember seeing a car like that because it was like a funky green color that I've never ever seen before.
Do y'all see that?
Yes. Oh my god!
I'm so excited. That's the highlight.
Yeah.
This car. Now y'all gonna tell me that ain't distinctive?
Yes. I would remember seeing a car like that. I would come on, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? But y'all just be on the lookout. I'm on the lookout.
Yes.
I want some justice for this family.
Yeah, I want some justice for this family. They have been through so much, and let me tell y'all. But going back, a few details that I didn't mention. So, they asked Asha's friends, did y'all see anything or what? They said that Asha showed them some money that she had, and she didn't say where she got it from. She didn't, any of that stuff. So, and her parents knew they didn't give her any money. So they were wanting to know, where did she get this money from? But the kids said, they don't know.
Ooh.
She just had a
Who she got it from is the better question.
Yeah, who she got it from. But they, the family was like, we don't know where she got it from because they didn't give it to her. So that was another aspect that was very suspicious because I was like that part, that's alarming to me, and I'm gonna tell y'all why in a minute. Like I was mentioning, they have received over 300 tips for this case, and the cops have explored all 300, and none of them have panned out. Not all of them have led to nowhere. Some of them have been helpful, but to help solve the case, no. And I think the part that irritated me was there's been several inmates to call in saying, they know what happened to her. One of them said one of his family members said that he hit her one night while they were out drinking and driving, and they discarded her body off the side of the road. That sparked another manhunt, which that showed up as being. But they said on the show, and I've heard this before, they take, honestly, inmates statements with a grain of salt, because some of them are faking, some of them are just trying to come out and say that they know what happened to get extra privileges or their time reduced, so they don't really follow up on a lot of inmate testimonies or whatever you call them. But there was an inmate before COVID, I want to say it was in 2019 or something like that came out. He wrote a letter to, I think, the FBI or Cleveland County or whatever, I can't remember, and said that he had information on the case, that he knew who killed her, where they could find the body, and that he wanted to speak to law enforcement. But COVID happened, and unfortunately, they shut down the prisons. They were limiting, who came in and out, so they were not able to interview him. And I think they were going back and forth about if they were going to interview him. But they did not release any information that said they followed up on that because, COVID restrictions are over, y'all. So I don't know if this is the evidence that they say that it keeps developing. I don't know if that is, what they're saying. I don't know, but they never gave an update to say if they actually went and talked to the inmate who apparently had a tip. So,
because they keeping a lot of stuff about this investigation real tight-lipped.
So hopefully that means that they are working aggressively at trying to get this family some peace and some answers about what happened to their baby. Y'all, what was sad was the family stayed in this house 2 decades, hoping that they kept the same phone number and stayed in the house 2 decades. They had even met with a realtor, I think, and they were supposed to move out, but the mom said Aquila said she just could not, because she was saying, she was afraid if they moved, if she came home, she her family would be there. But since then they have moved into another home, and she said, family, Aquila said that family is, wherever they are. It doesn't matter the home. It's home is wherever the family is. So, that just to watch the interview, the dad, her dad and her mom just like pouring their hearts out, and you could still, to this day, they are still like devastated. I know her mom said that, she wakes up and sometimes she just can't even get out of bed, because she said, you know what, but I have to keep going. I can't, let this, I miss her so much. But she was like, if I stop going, my family stops going. So she keeps going. So that just, it just made chills go all over my body. But yeah.
I have high hopes.
Yes,
For the
definitely.
simple fact that Card is on the case. And if y'all don't know Card, baby, them people don't play. Card is the child abduction rapid deployment team.
Oh.
They are on the case. They have solved I think since I don't know how long Card has been around, but they specifically work on child abductions. And when they get involved, baby, seem like stuff start happening. Now, Card has involved since today. Card has been involved for 6 years, but it takes them time. But they do have, I think, more resources and more manpower to devote to these cases as opposed to like regular law enforcement and the FBI. So
Yes.
they have solved several like missing kids cases. So I do have high hopes that they're on the right track, and hopefully her family will have some resolution in the very, very near future. So y'all, fingers crossed, prayers to the Degree family. I can't imagine, but they have not given up. So that, because a lot of times they'll just chalk it up to, oh, she ran away and let it go. So I am at least hopeful in that fact, that aspect of it.
Absolutely. Like, I think another point I want to make is this is before social media. So this was there was no like blueprint, not blueprint, but there was no like social media print where they can check her last whereabouts. Like, now people have those air tags they stick on their kids' book bags where they know where they're at all the time, different stuff like that. This is before all of that, y'all.
And you know what else? I will say that now, I mean, not only do we have social media now, we have a lot of better ways to get the information out. Somebody out there knows something. But
Yes.
what I speculate, this is Toya, this is allegedly that, somebody knows something, but they may be in fear to say what they know. Because in the event that something unfortunately happened to Asha and she's no longer here with us on this side, that, that may be redirected to them and their life may be in danger. We see that happen a lot of times where people don't come out and speak on, the, for lack of a better term, the killer or the suspect until that person passes away.
Yeah.
But my thing is, that ain't gonna do us no good for them to pass away. They need to be brought to justice while they're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know God to deal with it on the back end.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure her family want to see them brought to justice while they're here.
Exactly.
So a lot of
Give
times
them
post stuff and hold on to it until them people pass away and then go to the police. No, speak now.
Yes. Yes. Give this family some peace. Like, that's what frustrates me. But let me tell you, sometimes I do, like, I'm with you. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't sit on a secret like that, and oftentimes what I'm thinking, like, because there's a lot of theories. There's the basketball theory that, you know, she was upset and she ran away. There's also a theory that y'all remember back when I was talking about that picture, they are believing that she could have had like a pen pal or a friend that she met, and this friend really wasn't a real friend. This was a
Somebody
predator.
preying on her.
Yeah, like a predator,
And
and
she
that
was
possible
into that picture thinking she was going to meet another friend.
like someone gave her that picture, say, "Hey, this is what I look like. Meet me here," because she was very smart. But that is a theory, and honestly, that's the theory I believe that someone.
They need to identify that little girl.
Yeah, but you know, and it makes you think, and you think back to certain things like that wad of money, like where she get that wad of money from, and I kind of believe that theory. I think someone was impersonating a little girl, and she had that picture that, you know, and she was, because it's like she knew where she was going.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like I'm running away and I have no idea where I'm going. It was very
And
apparent she knew where she was going.
like we said, y'all, there was no forced entry. She left of her own volition. But
Yeah.
for her to have the wad of money and the picture and these things that just are not adding up, she was lured away by
Yes.
someone.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
our theory. We believe that
Yeah.
theory.
But see, it makes you wonder how, with her being so like sheltered the way she was. I want to know how. Is
Yeah.
there someone in the school? Because where did that book come from that was checked out of the library, but you can't pinpoint who checked it out? So
Right.
there's that. Like it's just like.
And you know, that even doesn't make sense because now that I think about it, I was an
Mhm.
accelerated reader. So I stayed reading. I don't like to read now, but I stayed reading. I was an accelerated reader.
Yeah.
But they
Right.
had a system, even though it wasn't electronic, they had a system to check those books out and figure out who had
Yeah.
what. So I
Yeah.
don't know if it's that they don't know who checked it out or they're just not releasing it to the public.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they had a system even back then, because I'm thinking, now that I'm thinking, she was born just a year after me. So we
Yeah.
grew up during the same time.
Yes, definitely.
And
Yeah.
for her to be in North Carolina, they way more advanced than South Carolina. So I know
Yeah.
they had a system to check out the books.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely. They did. They definitely
I
did.
was a
They had
nerd,
a system.
I'm still kind of a nerd,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
Like I was an accelerated reader too. I still hold on to the flex that y'all, when I read my books when I was supposed to, and it was some folks that didn't read their books when they were supposed to, and I went to a pizza party and they were just sitting there watching me
And
eat.
they was mad. My friends was big mad because they couldn't come to the pizza party, walking by the library, peeping in.
Exactly.
You outside the club. You
Yeah.
can't even get in.
This is the elite pizza party. So
Anybody know me, like, I'm real nerdy. Like,
yeah, I am too. Yeah.
real,
I love like different, like I'm a nerd too. I like
yeah.
to research and, you
Especially
know, read.
things like this or stuff pertaining to like social work, my job and stuff like that. I'm all in. Like, I love
Mhm.
researching. But
Yes.
prayers for this family though, y'all.
Yes. Yes.
I really feel like they're gonna figure it out. I feel like they're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
figure it out.
Oh yeah.
It's just a matter of time at this point. I'm praying before I leave
Yeah.
this side of the world
Yeah.
because I need to
That
know.
we see this family get justice, y'all, because I'm leaning more to, I do not believe the basketball theory. I believe that she was lured away. I feel like someone gave her that picture and said, "Hey, you know," and something, just the school will not leave my head though, for some reason. So like my sister said, y'all, I pray that this family gets justice. Y'all, if y'all have seen that vehicle, or if anyone watching this, if you know something, like, please report it, y'all, because this was a child. They have released a like digitally progressed picture of her, of what she would look like at age 33. So you can research that. Can you pull that up too, sis, since you
Now that I don't understand.
right, right.
On it. Okay. So let me pull it up. Let me maximize it. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. All right.
Yes.
So this is the digital progression of Asha. So if y'all
Yeah.
see this lady out and about, call the police.
Yes.
And not only
And
that,
this
like,
is
if you are still out there and you're
Yeah.
able to just reach out and let people know you're okay and that you're safe. Like, if you don't want to
Yeah.
come back home, whatever the case may be, because I'm not blaming anything on the family, but a lot of times you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. If you
Yeah.
don't want to come back home, just let somebody know you breathing
You're okay. Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
okay.
But
That's
I don't think but I get what you're saying, sis, because there are some people but I don't think that was the case with this
I
family.
don't
I
think
think
so either. But
yeah.
in the event that it was, because
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
home before.
Yeah.
We believe our theory, but in the event that that was the case, I'm just saying, baby,
Yeah.
just let people know you all right.
Absolutely. But y'all, that is the case of Asha. Like we said, y'all, please, y'all can continue to read up on this case, y'all. I want to I want to keep myself updated with this case so that I know, any updates or anything like that. I want to know if they touch bases with that inmate. That's what I really want to know.
Yeah.
But y'all, again, please, please, please like, share, and subscribe our videos. Sistas in Crime with SistasinCrimewithShiandToy on TikTok and YouTube. Also, we have an Instagram and we are on Spotify. So y'all, we upload our videos every week on Thursdays at 1. You can find them here and on Spotify. And we do upload small we do upload small clips on TikTok for the people who don't like watching a long video. We understand. But y'all, thank y'all for your support. Y'all stay safe. Y'all, thank y'all so much. This is a word. Y'all are so appreciated. I hope you know that,
Honestly.
it is so hard out here sometimes, dealing with life, but whoever needs to hear this, you are appreciated. God sees you. If you need help, reach out to somebody. Or even if it's on your heart just to reach out to somebody just to check on them, please do so, because people are struggling. It doesn't matter. Like, somebody complimented me today. She said, I am not feeling well. She said, but your voice is comforting me. And no one has ever told me that. And I was like, that really hit me in a way. So y'all, you never know what attributes about yourself is a blessing to someone else.
And just be
So
kind.
just be kind.
Be kind,
Yes. Yeah.
Everybody is fighting their own personal battles. You never know. Just be kind.
Yes. Absolutely. But y'all, we're going to get ready to wrap up. Thank y'all for tuning in. Catch us back next Thursday. Sistas in Crime with SistasinCrimewithShiandToy. Sis, is there anything else you want to add?
No, y'all disregard my makeshift heart because my fingers be so awkward. I was trying to do a heart and they so awkward. Like, even when the nail lady be trying to take pictures of my nails, I can never get them right. I'll be like, ugh. But
Yeah.
that's all, y'all. We love y'all. And thank you so much for tuning in.
See y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.